YouTube, it's approaching mid-month, so you know what that means. It's comics time. Went to Heroes earlier in the month, picked up what was in my bin, and simply what was in my bin, because there wasn't anything else, back issues that I could find or whatever. So very Transformers heavy again this time, with a bit of G.I. Joe. No Turtles at this point. I don't know why, but I'm hoping, of course, next month I will have some Turtles. So first up, issue number 13. Unlucky 13 in the Transformers Beast Wars series. This one is all about Cheetor. The Maximals and the Predacons recently had that battle outside the Predacon ship, and eventually they beat a retreat with the disc in hand and stuff. But during the battle, Cheetor was apparently damaged, I guess. So he kind of is. It's kind of like this dreamlike state Cheetor's in, and he wakes up and there's this Transformer called CatScan working on him, and he's like, "What? CatScan? Like, where am I? What? Like, I'm on Earth with the battle with the Predacons, and here I am on Cybertron, and you're fixing me up." So he's like, "What is going on here?" So he goes out and into the city and goes to a bar, and is like talking to people, other Autobots or whatever they are, Maximals, about certain things that have already happened in his life. And he's like, "What is happening? Where am I? What's going on?" Eventually he's confronted by another Cheetor, like a Nega Cheetor, who's all purple in color, and he's like, "I'm one of the aliens on Earth," or whatever planet they're on. I'm not sure if they're on Earth or not, but remember those little energy beings that are kind of watching over the whole Maximal Predacon fight that's going on? He puts himself in this Nega Cheetor form and confronts Cheetor. He's like, this little being is after some intel that's in Cheetor's mind. So he dupes Cheetor into accepting an agreement to have a race with him. And whoever wins the race, if Cheetor wins the race, he'll just the little guy will wake him back up. Everything will be as is. And if Cheetor loses the race, this little electronic being gets all access to what's in Cheetor's mind through the defenses that Cheetor has put up, because he's after some intel about something called the Tawan maneuver and something about the Maximal protoforms that are up in space. And so they race, and this little guy cheats and takes on the form of Blur, a former Transformer. And but in the end, Cheetor wins the race, but finds out it was all a dupe. And at the end of the issue, Cheetor wakes up in the arc with Rhinox and Optimus Primal and stuff, saying like, "What happened?" And he's like, "You're mumbling in your sleep about the Vok," or something like that. He's like, "I have no idea. I don't remember any of that." So Cheetor's back online, but these little energy beings that are on this planet and that have been watching over this battle now have whatever intel was in Cheetor's mind. So we'll see where that goes. Next up, issue 39 of the regular ongoing Transformers series. This one's pretty crazy. It starts off with Smokescreen and his little band of Autobots confronting Swindle and trying to get some munitions off of him and stuff like that. But Six Shot and the Decepticons kind of raid the party, and a big battle erupts. In the meantime, Cyclonus confronts Provoke, that robot that they found in the Sea of Rust or wherever it was that was all buried in the rock. And he says, like, something's wrong here. So then Provoke reveals that it's actually Exarchon that has taken over this body. And Exarchon, I've never heard of this character before, but he's really big in this storyline, and he's like, they say he's even worse than Megatron, like he's a bad guy. So then this big battle between Cyclonus and Exarchon erupts, and but Exarchon's kind of inhabiting multiple bodies. So he's also in the body of a bot named Flatline, who then goes and confronts Shockwave. And so then Shockwave is like, "What the hell?" And then all along the battle with Smokescreen and Six Shot is still raging. And the other thing that happens is right at the end, after the dust is cleared on the battle with Six Shot and stuff, Swindle's looking down at the body of Ruckus, I think, who died. And all of a sudden they see this little like dinosaur head creep out from beneath the wreckage and grab something and disappear. And it's like, what the hell was that, right? So that's kind of leaves on that kind of little cliffhanger there. And then in issue 40, The Autobots are all back within Crystal City, and Striker riles up all the Decepticons into one last big raid on Crystal City to defeat the Autobots once and for all. So it's basically like this last stand as Optimus Prime and all of the Autobots fend off this Decepticon attack. And Optimus Prime looks back on some past experiences when Ironhide asks him, you know, what's going on, and it gives some history on Crystal City and what happened there over previous generations of Transformers and stuff. And in the end, it looks like the Decepticons are going to win, and they've pushed the Autobots back into their last stand of buildings, and then all of a sudden, from high in space, drops this massive Transformer onto the scene, and it is the Titan that they have been working on reviving and bringing back online. So I'm assuming it's for the Autobots. I'm pretty sure it's for the Autobots, but who knows? We'll find out what happens with this Titan next time around. And I always love it when the big bots get involved, like the Metroplexes and the Trypticons and stuff, right? Because they just bring such a crazy, massive scale element to the battles. That's why I like playing a lot of the more recent Transformers games, because they put those big guys in there, and you can't really fight them, but you work around them and engage them a little bit and stuff. But it's just cool seeing such a big creature on screen and stuff. Anyways, a little off topic there. The last Transformers one was issue 1 of a little subseries called War's End, and this actually takes place between those episodes. I keep calling them episodes. Issues 39 and 40 of the ongoing series that I just mentioned. So in this one, there's a few different things going on in this one. Geomodus and Landmine are leading a team of Autobots to the Sonic Canyons, which is a really spooky area. Nobody really wants to be there. They're measuring some seismic activity and something in the ground, and they're scanning around for stuff. What they're after, we don't know. In the meantime, Exarchon is still having conversations with Skywarp and Shockwave about his plans, and then Skywarp kind of fucks off, and he's like, yeah, no, I want no part of this. So he warps out, and God knows what he's going off to do. Also, Cyclonus, now realizing that Exarchon is back, he goes to this Decepticon camp and confronts them and says, I need to see Megatron. Fights his way in, and Megatron's like, okay, let him say his spiel. He claims that Exarchon's back, and Megatron's like, bah, idiot, no he's not, like, get out. And then Starscream kind of brings Megatron, he's around, and he's like, well, what if he is? Should we just act like he is, just so we take, a safeguard against it or whatever? So Starscream, being the voice of reason on Cyclonus' side, is kind of like, okay, what's he up to, right? So we've got all these wild cards in play. We got Skywarp going God knows where, doing what. We got Starscream manipulating this situation between Megatron and Cyclonus, and then we've got actual Exarchon off with Shockwave and stuff, planning God knows what. Back to the Autobot survey team that are in the Sonic Canyons. The issue. Well, like, what the fuck? I can't even. I'm so used to talking in TV terms, right? But they eventually find something, and they dig down into this shaft or whatever, and the last thing we see, if you remember at the end of issue 39 when I said that little dinosaur-looking head crept out after the battle, this thing crawls out of a hole that these Autobots dig, and it looks like it's pretty pissed off. So I think a bunch of Autobots are about to get eaten, perhaps? Okay, last up are 2 issues of G.I. Joe, one of them being something new that I was not expecting. Number 1 in the Saturday Morning Adventures line. I'm not sure how long this is running for or whatever, but it's drawn in a more like the original cartoon kind of style, and has more kind of maybe geared like TV show type episode stories in it. So the first one here is that Cobra Commander has acquired this artifact, this valuable artifact apparently, and before all of his cronies, he smashes it, and they're like, what the hell are you doing? And then he reveals that inside of it is this golden lamp. And inside of said lamp is a genie. A real genie. Who's, of course, going to give Cobra Commander 3 wishes. So, the wish he comes up with is to mega-size one of their battle android troopers, the bats. And so the genie does that for him. So then Cobra Commander sicks this bat on the G.I. Joe headquarters. And it's a bit of a fight and stuff like that, but they scramble the Sky Strikers, and Ace pulls off some maneuvers. They bring the thing down, and Cobra Commander's like, what the fuck? How did they? It's massive, like what? And so then the genie's like, oh, yeah. And then Cobra Commander's like, you're trying to trick me. And then Destro's like, well, maybe we should do this. So they come up with a second wish, and they modify this original wish to make the bat super big and powerful, and augment the wish a bit to make it not fail this time. And they basically supersize 3 more bats and make them more powerful and more defensible. So in the end, Cobra Commander contacts G.I. Joe and says, oh, we've done it again, and this time there's 3 of them, and they're all going to go strike these targets. So then Duke's like, oh crap, we got to scramble some forces. So that's how it ends. They're scrambling their forces as they go to combat these 3 new bat threats. Pretty cool, pretty funny kind of adventure, right? A little more lighthearted stuff. Next up is issue 289 in the regular ongoing G.I. Joe series. And this one starts a new little kind of a fresh storyline within the main storyline. So it's all linked and stuff. But these 2 Joe operatives, Agent Helix and Don Moreno, are on the outskirts of New Orleans, and they're tracking what they believe is some sort of Cobra activity in the area. In the meantime, Dr. Mindbender is flying with the Crimson Guard, Laura, the one that became so prevalent back during the Snake Eyes rescue. They're going to this abandoned old train yard, roundhouse or whatever it is, that's actually Revanche, the company that's run by all like cyborg androids things. They're going there to visit the guy that runs that, Hal, and get an update on the robots that they've ordered. So basically, Dr. Mindbender has ordered all these androids that are like super capable combat androids, and they're made up like women, and they're going to be put in all of Cobra's casinos around the world, so that they'll have all of this. Basically, anywhere Cobra has a casino, they're going to have an army within it with all these fembots, basically. As Don Moreno and Agent Helix eavesdrop on this meeting, and the thing showcases its abilities, Agent Helix is like, oh my god, that fighting style, like, it's so rare, and it's my mom's, right? So there's this link between it that we don't kind of realize what's going on by the end of the issue. It's still kind of up in the air, but during this, the 2 Joes get discovered, so then a big fight ensues. They get chased into the swamp by this fembot, and that's where a battle ensues, and they eventually destroy the thing, and then say, we got to get this info back to G.I. Joe headquarters. But then the last thing we see is Hal, the main android behind the Revanche Corporation, saying he's obviously planned some subterfuge, and he's like, we're gonna have sleepers within their sleepers, right? So Dr. Mindbender trusting this android company, maybe not such a good idea. Till next time.